going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new tactic. Today is going to be Xabi Alonso's new 4-3-3 at Real Madrid. Now, this tactic scored over 200 goals in the Real Madrid season, so be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and as always, comment below the next tactic you want to see on the channel. Let's get into it, and first off, we are going to go to the obvious team in Real Madrid, but don't worry, we have got also Bayer Leverkusen and a freshly promoted Leeds United team in the Premier League to test with. So it made sense to go over to Real Madrid first. Of course, it is going to be the topic of today's video, and we put on an absolute show. It's the only way I can really describe it. We are going to come out and not only win the league, but dominate the league. The Champions League, we are going to win 3-0. You've got Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo and Mbappe top of the charts there. We are going to get past some pretty good teams as well, like Manchester City. In the quarterfinals, we did play ourselves, and obviously Madrid have got the better team, so that's the only real stage that I guess you can say we pretty much guaranteed our way through. But in the final, we played also a very good team in Paris Saint-Germain, so a very, very strong final, which we come out on top quite comfortably. When it comes to the Super Cup, we are going to go and win that as well 4-1 against Atalanta, but the main thing here is going to be this Spanish First Division. Now, this was a really strong season. As you can see, a lot of our players really getting involved with the goals and the assists, and also defensively, we're not going to be too bad. And speaking of stats in the season, we are going to score close to 150 goals, have over 740 shots, only 208 shots against, over 800 dribbles, 850 to be exact. Defensively, we are going to be down in third when it comes to conceded, and also in second joint with Barcelona when it comes to the clean sheet. So the attacking side, we were flawless. Defensively, we were up there with the best, but not always the best. Now, data hub wise, it is going to translate to 3.92 goals a game, 0.84 conceded, a solid pass completion, and a good amount of shots per game as well. And just to show them people that really are interested in it, possession wise, you are going to have a decent amount of the ball with 54%, but I think the perfect balance between this tactic is you need to find that in the sense of you've got really good electric forward players. You do want to have a bit of possession behind the ball, as Xabi Alonso does, but also you want to go, out there and let your players play. You've got Vinicius, Rodrigo, and Mbappe, all of these sorts of players which you have to give a chance to attack. And adding someone like Trent into the mix that we did have in this season, he does go more direct with the balls that he plays, so you do naturally lose a bit of possession. But I mean, that Champions League final at Wembley, it was an absolute thumping in the end. It was a 3-0 advantage, and they weren't always pretty goals. And you know what, in a Champions League final, this is a sort of stage which I'll happily take a little bit of luck. Rudiger is going to find Bellingham plenty of time on the ball, through into Vinicius, again through one-on-one, a little cut in there, and that felt like a bit of a new animation I've not seen. It isn't, the game's not been updated, don't worry, you're not missed anything, but that was a really smooth looking animation. Into Bellingham, out wide, into Vinicius, who is taking his time again, and with this front line, it's never going to let you down, especially with this tactic. Now his former club Bayer Leverkusen, well, we are going to do the German double. We are going to win the Super Cup 5-1 over FC Bayern, and also we are going to pick up the Bundesliga title, and it was quite close, only 4 points in it between us and FC Bayern. Boniface is going to play a big part in why we were actually so good, as long as our goalkeeper Lucas kept his clean sheets, which he did with 15, so a very, very good season. Grimaldo, obviously no Jeremy Frimpong anymore, so we were playing without him and Florian Wirtz, so this actually makes the test a lot more impressive in my opinion, and it's probably why we're not able to compete in everything, because they've lost a lot of their top players. So I'm super happy with what we've achieved with this weakened team, and we still are going to have the most goals without Florian Wirtz in there, being the curator, and Frimpong, over 540 shots. Possession, 2% more with 54%, most dribbles, and when it comes to the conceded, we are going to go down into 5th, and then 2nd when it comes to the clean sheet. So, going to be open and honest, you might concede an odd goal here or there. You can actually see over a season, we did concede 1 goal a game, but we were very close to scoring triple that. So, you are going to be completely fine, but you're not always going to keep a clean sheet every single game. I will be open and transparent with that, but this is exactly why you do get all 3 variants, because if you want to be that more defensively minded guy, you would go and deploy the defensive version. An 88% pass completion, though, is very, very appealing, and at the end of the day, it's a German double. You can't turn your nose up at it. And then we go over to Leeds, and we have won the Premier League, but I tell you what, I feel a little bit lucky, because we draw 4 games and we lose 7, so whether we deserve to win this, you can have your opinion about it, but I'm going to be honest, we did win it. It was close, but we didn't. It's a difficult one, because I have done a lot better than this before and still lost a Premier League title. So actually seeing this is quite shocking, to be honest, in the fact of how other teams didn't actually get the job done. We did have a lot of players thrive in this system. This tactic is it's going to become pretty well known for the attacking side of the game. I mean, defensively, we're going to be down in 6th with Leeds. Clean sheets down in joint 5th. So we are a weakened team. This is a newly promoted team. Our defensive display wasn't the best, I'm going to be honest. 1.21 conceded. But you do go and score double it. So if you're happy to concede that goal but score double, this is the tactic for you. Because with a team like Leeds, you've got to remember, this is not the Championship now. We are on an up-to-date database. We are in the Premier League. We're playing with the top dogs. So keeping a clean sheet every game is just not realistic. It's not going to happen. Maybe if you're playing like a 5-back system, like a 5-2-1-2 meta tactic coming out next week, maybe that's possible, but trust me, it's difficult to do. But we are going to take home the Premier League title and, of course, the Carabao Cup. So let's go and watch the highlights. And this was a very dramatic game against Fulham. It was a very interesting final, to be honest. A Leeds-Fulham Carabao Cup final. But we are going to get off to a great start here with Harrison cutting in, who was so good at that, by the way. A really good player in that position in this Leeds team. But Fulham weren't just going to allow me to go and win the game easily, you know. And it was actually a defensive mishap that allowed Piera to go through plenty of space, and Moulier dropping way too soon and making the players mind up for him practically. So that goal I didn't really think was a tactic issue. It was more just individual errors. This we did get split. I'm going to be honest, they did split us apart, and it is a very well-crafted goal. So we did actually find ourselves 2-1 down. And if we pause it right here, this is where you use the attacking version. A perfect example. You're 2-1 down in a cup final. This is when you make the switch, and you are going to be more defensively vulnerable, but you are going to be better in the attacking side. And when you're a goal down in such a big game, you can see more players are naturally committing in that box. The Mecca is going to make it 2-2. And because of this momentum shift, the way that the game feels, I decided to actually stick with it. And I won't lie, we were looking pretty ropey when we were getting countered. But this is the difference, guys. It's why I do say go and get all 3, because it paid off. Right then, so over to your favourite part of the video, that is going to be the tactic breakdown. If you are enjoying, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and make sure you are coming over to Daily Josh. It's my second channel, all FM, don't worry, it is a rebuild channel. We put up a video once every other day, and we're going to be using every single tactic you see this week in a rebuild coming up. So make sure you are going to see, if you want to see how the tactics do over 5 years, 10 years, sometimes 20 years, make sure you come and have a little look, because you can also see what changes I make. Now, to make this tactic, all you want to do is simply create your own style and load in a 4-3-3 DM wide. And let's go through and take you how to actually craft the tactics. So the mentality is going to be set to positive. Again, very important you have this selected, because we do play quite attacking football, not over the top attacking football. We've not gone too attacking, so we have got a bit of room to switch to that attacking variant. So it is going to be set to positive. The goalkeeper is simply going to be on defend with one instruction, that being take fewer risks. Now, I've gone as realistic as I can from seeing the select games that they have played so far. Don't worry, obviously when the next game comes out, which hopefully will be pretty shortly, I will make an updated version when we've seen a lot of games, because he's a new manager there. He's going to be changing things all the time. So I've based it off what I've seen so far. Going over to the right back, we are going to use a fullback who is going to come in actually on support, and he is going to have these instructions. They are going to be cross more alongside of cross from the byline, run wide, stay wide, close down more as well. Now, no tackle harder, shock on this channel, I know, but he is going to have 5 instructions. Now, whenever you have a fullback on support, it always looks like you've got a lot of instructions. It's because, unlike, for example, a default winger where they have 3 instructions, the fullback have none. So if you want them to do certain aspects of the game, you physically have to tell them to do it. So that's exactly why. Now, on this side, we are going to use a central defender on cover, so just a man to sit a little bit deeper, and he is going to be told to do a few things. Firstly, take fewer risks, stay wider, alongside of also marking tighter. So again, if this fullback does push up, he will cover that area and we won't be exploited in that sort of right-hand side. So very important he has these instructions on. When it comes to his defensive partner, we are going to use a central defender who is going to be told to do 2 things. Take fewer passing risks and also mark tighter. Not the stay wider on this one, because we don't really need both players to be doing it. When it comes to the fullback on the left-hand side, on support once again, we are going to have very similar instructions, but just a little bit different. So we are going to tell him to cross more, but this time he's going to be told to cross from deep, run wide, stay wide, and also close down more. Now, what you would have noticed is the wing-backs are very similar, or the full-backs, sorry, I'd always get them confused, but they are going to have different approaches of putting the ball into the box. So the left-back is going to do it from quite deep, and Trent is really going to go up the pitch and put it in from the byline. So they are going to offer very different things, which is really, really good to see. Going to the sort of base of that three in midfield, we are going to utilise a deep line playmaker who is simply going to come in on support, and he is going to be told to mark tighter. You can have the argument this should be a register, something like that, but in my opinion, I'm going to go with a deep line playmaker. On the right-hand side, we are going to use a box-to-box. Of course, perfect for someone like Jude Bellingham. He can come in alongside of get further forwards and also move it into the channels. And to partner him, we are going to use a Mazzala. You could also use an advanced playmaker, to be honest with you. So that is completely up to you, depending on the team and players you've got. And he will be told to purely dribble more. I do want to quickly say at this part of the video, if you are interested in getting all of these wonderful perks, that does include all three of the tactics today, over 200 tactics I've made this year, over 70 rebuild files, one-on-one tactical help, ad-free viewing, access to big monthly giveaways, and so much more. There is currently 20% off any new Patreon member. We're pushing up to 6,000 members, so make sure you come on over and get involved because there is daily content on there. Last week we put up 9 posts in 7 days, exclusive stuff as well. Do not miss out on another day. Going up to the front three, we are going to go with the striker first because it's super easy to copy. That is going to be a pressing forward, simply set to attack. Again, naturally, he's going to be moving into different channels, closing down and also tackling harder. On the right-hand side, we are going to use an inside forward on support, and he is going to be told to, firstly, more direct passes, alongside of roam, alongside of sit narrow, and also mark tighter. So this position here, you can also optionally tell him to specifically mark, for example, the D in brackets L. Some people like it, some people don't, so I'm going to mention it in the video, and that is completely up to you. That is fully on you if you wish to do that, if you don't wish to do that. On the left-hand side, we are going to deploy an inside forward who is going to be set to attack. Now, because this is going to be, you know, Vinicius, or if you're playing Endrick up front, maybe you've got Mbappe out there, or you're playing Vinicius up front, whoever it is, Vinicius or Mbappe, or Rodrigo, to be honest, I want one of them to be cutting in and having cracks at goal. So we're going to tell him to shoot more and also roam from the position, because naturally he will cut inside, he will get forwards, he will dribble more, he will be a threat to the opposition, and that is going to give you the player roles. But of course, we've just started here today. Over to the team instructions, we are going to go up to fairly wide, pass into the space, work ball into the box, play out from the back, the tempo up to 1 to slightly higher, the passing down by 1 to shorter, and simply run at defence. In transition, we are going to tell them to counter press alongside of counter, play to the centre backs, and simply take short goal kicks. And lastly, out of possession, we're going to go right in with the high press, the higher defensive line, the not much higher defensive line, stay on feet, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, and also more often when it comes to that wonderful trigger press. Now, very important, you do stay locked in and get the attacking and defensive version. That's why they're in the video as well. I don't force anyone to go over and download them on the Patreon. It's easier for you, but that's why I keep them in the video. So hopefully people do stick around and get them, because every single test you see, I use all 3 variants. They're not there purely for fun. It'd be a waste of my time. So they are here for a reason. The goalkeeper is going to remain the same. The central defenders now, the right-hand side gets pushed up just to a normal level on take fewer risks, stay wider, and mark tighter. The fullback on the right and on the left are going to remain exactly the same because they're already naturally quite attacking. You don't want to take anything away. You don't really need to add anything either. The DLP remains the same. The box-to-box does. The Mazzala does. The inside forward on the right now goes set to attack on more direct passes, roam, sit narrow, and also mark tighter. On the left, exactly the same. This time an advanced forward, because technically speaking, from a meta side of the game, you will get more goals out of this role. The big change comes into the team instructions, so we are going to go up to attacking when it comes to the mentality. That's a pretty big change. We're going to go up to fairly wide, so up by 1, pass into the space, this time overlap left, overlap right, while playing out from the back, work ball into the box, run at defence, the tempo all the way maxed out, and the passing down by 1 to simply shorter. In transition, we're going to hit the double of counter press and also counter, play into the centre backs and taking short goal kicks. And lastly, out of possession, we are going to go with the high press. We've got room to now go to the much higher defensive line. We're still going to stay on our feet, prevent short goalkeeper distribution, but this time we are going to max out the tactic to much more often. Defensively, there are going to be a few changes coming in. The first one, we are going to be on balance, so that's a big shift up. The press and forward drops down to support on the default. Both of the inside forwards, both on support on sit narrow and mark tight. A CM on automatic on the left hand side, on pass at short, shoot less, roam and move into the channels. A box to box on support on move into the channels and pass at short. A DM instead of a DLP on support on tackle harder and mark tighter. Both of the fullbacks are both meant to be purely on the default, and the central defenders are going to be on the default on the left hand side, and also on the right hand side we've got a default central defender, but this time he goes back to being the cover and duty. The goalkeeper, he remains unchanged. In possession, again a friendly reminder, we are unbalanced. We are going to keep the width, but this time we are going to be a bit different. We keep playing out from the back, we keep work ball into the box on, but the tempo is in the middle and the passing goes down by 1 to shorter. In transition, we're going to counter press, leave this selection blank, slow the pace down and play to the centre backs while taking short goal kicks. And lastly, to finalise it, we are going to go in with the standard line, the high press, stay on feet, and leave this nice and basic. And that is going to give you, boys and girls, not 1, not 2, but 3 versions of Alonso's new look Madrid to current date. Of course, it will need a redo later down the line, but hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, be sure to leave a like. This tactic is a ton of fun to play with. It wins trophies. It works across every test I've done, really. So make sure you go and give it a go. Let me know what you think. And as always, make sure you comment on what you think of the video, what team you want to see tested, what manager you want to see. Basically, the way we operate is I note down every single request. And we have got a big list, so don't get me wrong, I'm not promising it will be out next week, but it will be added to the list. And the worst case scenario, it will be done in the next game. So even if you say a request now, it will come out at some point. So make sure you do. I'll see you in the next one.